who you are, please.
I'm Thomas Wright. I'm the orchestra director here at Southport High School, and I'm Lemba's dad.
Nickens Lemba, student at Southport High School.
Mr. Wright, if you can just explain how Lemba came into your care, whatever you're comfortable with talking about.
Well, during the beginning of his freshman year, some guy representing himself as a sport agent saw some video of Lemba on YouTube and contacted his school in Congo and said that he could, put Lemba in school here and train him in basketball and get him a full scholarship to college and a shot at the NBA. And most everything the guy said was a lie, but Lemba went through the process of applying, thinking that this was a legitimate exchange student organization, a legitimate sports agency type thing. Got a visa to come to the United States, and the moment that he got here, the guy started lying about where he was going to go to school, and he didn't end up going to the school where he was supposed to attend, and the guy was trying to find a different school for him, and it turned into a bad situation for Lemba. And he ended up at Southport High School because we're a school that works well with English language learners. And at that time, Lemba didn't speak a lot of English. But even while this guy enrolled in Lemba here, he was still looking for some other place to send Lemba. And every place that he was asking, the guy was asking for money. The guy was asking for the school to, give me a little bit of money on the back end, or waive the tuition so I don't have to pay that, or, I need to move into this township, so I need some funding. He even tried to get Southport High School to commit fraud and, not pay the tuition that he has to pay to even come to a public school. So, but eventually this guy ran out of money. I think for a while Lemba was living, in various places. He was being bounced around from various places. They used to have an apartment down here in Greenwood, and the guy ran out of money. And then one day he texted the basketball coach and said that his mom was sick and he had to go up to Michigan to take care of his mom. And he dropped Lemba off at the basketball coach's house, with a trash bag of used clothes, and said that he needed to go up to Michigan. So because Eric and I had been talking about exchange students and things like that, Eric asked us if we would take Lemba in. And so Lemba came and stayed with us for one weekend. We come back to school Monday, and this sport agent is here at school on Monday demanding that Lemba come back home with him and live with him. And it's like, wait a second, you were supposed to be up. And this is when we really began to find out that something was not right with his living situation. So we contacted his school back in Congo, and we got permission from his mom in Congo to change his host family, not realizing at that time that also that his entire visa situation was was just completely messed up. We did that, and then the guy attempted to steal Lemba's passport and stuff like that. So we had to get the authorities involved, and eventually he gets arrested, but at the same time, now his visa is out of status. And we knew that as he came to live with us, if we just said, well, too bad, your visa's out of status, you have to just go back to Congo and figure it out. We knew that sending him back to Congo was unsafe. We knew it was not a good living situation in his home country. So we started the process of making him a legal part of our family and making sure that he could stay here in America legally. And we've now gotten through all of that. So now he's a permanent resident and part of our family.
Lemba, if you're comfortable with answering this, what was it like moving around with the guy that brought you to America?
It was kind of rough because the guy was so mean for me, and I was not feel comfortable living with him because, like, he was manipulating me every time, like, so he want me to do whenever he wants me to do. So I was not feeling comfortable living with him. So Coach Brian knew it. He knew what's going on with me and the dude, and that's why he trying to figure out how he can move me from him. So the day I got from California, and he dropped me to Coach Brian's house. But I didn't know, by the time I didn't know what's going on because I could speak English, and but eventually I knew how to greet people, and he dropped me to Coach Brian's house, and he told me he's gonna back with me on Saturday. I don't know what day was, but he's gonna come on Saturday. He's gonna get me, and I sleep at Coach for 2 days. I don't remember 2 days or 3 days, something like that. And Coach, I was sleeping in the living room, and Coach feel that was bad for me to sleep in the living room. So he told me I have a friend that I can talk with him, so he can stay with them to Raymond Tree is gonna get you. And when I got to school, and he sent me to them, I sleep there for a week. I don't know, what was it, Saturday weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the next day, I think on Monday, and the dude just come to school to get me here and get practice, and the dude was mad. The way he was acting was just like, you can tell the dude he's not happy. And so I figured out, and the coach just brought me to his office, and he called the other Congolese guy. He can speak English. French, and that he was like interpreting me, translate what he was saying, and so I can understand what's going on with the dude, and to understand what's going on, and I figured out so I can talk to my mom, and they can sign my paper with the people I'm living right now, Thomas Wright, and by the time, and they signed my paper, and the dude was knowing what's going on with me and Coach Brian. We was just coming to school and studying, go home and come again the next day, and I stay with the coach, and Coach Brian texted the dude, he texted Raymond Tree, kids staying with us, so he can't go with you, and the dude was mad, and he grabbed everything I had, and I stay with my beautiful family, and because they carry me good, and they take care of me, and they do everything for me, so that's why I feel like a home, and that was the case, and so.
Mr. Wright.
Can we take a pause for a second?
Yeah.
It's okay, we can remember anything.
Right.
What's going on?
Hey, they're doing an interview for the paper for us. What you need?
Oh. Nothing that important.
Oh. I've got an envelope full of cash and checks on my desk for you. So
Okay, cool. You guys aren't the people doing I'm supposed to do a journal interview at the end of the day. This is not the same people, correct?
no.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
All right.
That's
Does
probably
Sophia need to get?
Rogers.
Does Sophia need to get something?
No, we just got other files. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. Popular room. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
Anyways, continuing.
Okay.
Mr. Wright, what made you decide to adopt Lemba in the end?
It was the best way to guarantee that he could immigrate legally to the United States. Again, when all of this happened, when you get a student visa, I mean, you report to the government that you're going to attend a specific school. And when this guy brought Lemba here, he lied to the school of where he was going to go to school, and he was shopping him all over the country. I mean, even out to California. Hey, he was trying to get a school out in California to take Lemba as a student and to pay for him to relocate out to California. The school that initially signed off on his visa reported the visa as a fraud. And so when we first met with an immigrations officer, they said, hey, his visa is going to be fraudulent, and so he's either going to have to go back to Congo and try to either reapply for a visa, which rarely happens. I mean, if you get expelled out of the country for a fraudulent visa, to get another visa is very difficult. We have a very good immigration attorney, and the best way forward to keep him here legally and to give him the opportunities that, for him to better his life, to change his family story, was for us to legally adopt him and then apply for his immigration that way. So we actually did this with the permission of his mom in Congo. So we sent documents to her for her to sign off to give us guardianship of him so that we could proceed with this. And now he's on a legal status. He's got a green card, and in a few years, if he wants, he can apply for full citizenship. So.
Lemba, what does it mean to you that Wright took you into his family?
That's like a home. Feel like a home, and beautiful family, and they care about people, not just me, but everyone. They're willing to help people, and they're very supportive, and yeah, they do everything for me, and feel like home, and I love them, and I want to make them proud, and the way everything went through, and it's a beautiful family.
And then this is a question for both of you, but what have you learned from each other with this whole experience? Whoever wants to answer first.
Well, I'm writing a book about that. How to sum that up? Okay, one, I've learned how intense a father's love is for his child. So he calls me Pops, and it's like, that's just a little 3-letter word, Pop, But boy, that 3-letter word has a lot of, power in your heart, because it's a term of love, it's a term of endearment, it's a term of family. And that's a very powerful thing that, I've always I mean, we've always had our family, but when someone sort of honors you with something that, you know, personal, that, hey, I look at you as my dad, it brings out this sort of protective nature of you, this nurturing nature of you. You know, I've not a very athletic person myself, but I have learned to love, you know, a variety of sports because he's done basketball, he's done track, he's done football, and now I find myself going to, you know, a variety of things. I mean, a 3-sport athlete, and so our house is pretty sport focused. Which is, it's just something different. I see similarities between what he does as an athlete and what I have to do as a musician in the training and the dedication and stuff like that. And so I enjoy those things. But I think this has also shown me that with all the problems that we have in race in this country, that love can overcome that. That a family can, you know, look the way that we do, and you know, and it can be a genuine expression of humanity at its best, you know, and it's sort of just changed the way that we see the world. We look at that through a Christian lens because that's the faith tradition that we're all a part of. And the Bible speaks of, you know, God as our Father, and so therefore all of humanity are brothers and sisters. And so I can't look at him and not see that he is my family. He is, you know, human, and you know, the response that God would have us give is to take care of him, is to take him in. You know, the Bible talks about that God adopts us all as children, and if God adopted me and God adopted him, then that means, you know, by, you know, God's view of things, we are family, and that's what we've really, I think, learned the last 3 or 4 years that we've had Lemba in our life. What that looks like, the family of God looks like, you know, lived out on earth.
What have you learned from this whole experience, living with Wright?
First of all, I'm Christian, and when you love God, you have to love people. So no matter what color they or race, so I love people. I always tryna be around people, like to being nice with people, and I mean, I'm blessed living with them, and because that was my decision. I can't say my decision, but that was God, because God brought me to them.